My question for you now, because we've been talking about systems and the importance of systems, I was curious if you have any examples of systems that you've seen implemented or that you're currently working on that have been effective in addressing those challenges, specifically the student engagement and the attendance piece, because I think that's that thing that's just right now, it's literally the thing that's keeping many of us awake at night.
Okay, so I'm going to actually take this to a district level when I talked again about the culture of the district and putting systems in place that are not just one-offs, right? So because when you do that, some do, some don't, some will, some won't. You're not going to get consistency. So I'm going to use specifically the attendance model and say that about three years ago, when our district recognized, first, you have to know you have a problem to know what kind of system or solution you have to put into place. We knew we had a problem. And like I said earlier, it was at that time, we were really focusing on how much excused absences were affecting our overall attendance, which is ultimately affecting student success. It really wasn't about the money. It was about the gaps that absences cause. Now you add this to it. So what we did is we said, we don't have the solution in our district, and we knew we didn't. And I bet many of you that are on this call today probably have a student information system. Teachers put their absences in, and sometimes kids go to truancy court and those things happen. But we knew that that was not capturing our students, nor was it in any way doing the types of interventions that we needed to do. So we sought out a solution, and that was through SI&A. We did all of the things that you do. You go and you have all the vendors come in and they share their product. But what we found is we needed something in our system that was intuitive, that brought the problem to you so that you didn't have to go in and say, gee, I wonder how many excused absences I have. I wonder how many kids have missed this many days. I wonder what my truancy rate is. I wonder if there's been any intervention done on this student. Who's helping with this child? So what we discovered is we didn't have anything like that. And we really weren't communicating with our parents to the degree that we should have been. Parents need to know, just like Erica said, those touch points have to happen. So what we did as a district, our system for monitoring attendance is district-wide. Every single principal uses the same process and has to follow the same steps. They monitor student attendance. They have the teachers put in the absences, but weekly, our principals get notified that they need to go in and look. Here are the students at your school that have missed 3 days, 5 days, 9 days. And after they've missed 3 days, parents receive a letter. And I know that sounds crazy. And it sounds like, well, do they get an email? Well, they do. They can get an email. They can get a text message. But what we have discovered is that parents really like letters. It feels official. It takes notice. I can delete an email, but I always want to open up that letter just in case. What if it's something important? So what we've been able to establish through this initiative is our parents do get notification. They get notification if their child hasn't been in school. We reach out to them, say, let's conference. How can we support you? Once again, you can hear how that feeds in the counselor. It might feed in child nutrition. It might feed in the classroom teacher. It might mean that we need to go provide them food and resources. You just never know what you're going to discover when you start this communication trend. But not only do we communicate to our families when kids aren't showing up, but we also communicated with our families when they were showing up. And Erica has a slide I want you to see, because you don't want everything about attendance to be negative. We want to celebrate our families. And so what we did for positive communication, we told parents why it was important for kids to be in school, the benefits of being in school. They also, our students received positive, our superintendent did positive letters. She did videos about the importance of coming to school. We did notifications of students who missed less than like 1% of the school year. I mean, it was a very small amount, but y'all wouldn't believe how much they love this, right down to our principals who are responsible for providing this tool. They have children in the district. And I was at something the other day, and one of our principals said, "Hey, Brenda, I know you retired, but I have to tell you, my kids were so excited when they got their positive note that they'd been in school." And she said, "You know, it made me really proud as a parent that I've continued to stay steadfast when I could for my kids to come to school." So it's just as important to communicate that you're not at school, but it's also communicating that you were at school and we recognized you showing up. And so what I would say is that sometimes we have to go outside of our organization in order to find the tools and resources to help us. And I would also say that it's important to say that if you're looking at an issue that is system-wide, then you need a system-wide solution. Attendance is a mind shift. We cannot leave this up to the campuses solely to do their version of what they think it takes for kids to get to school and how to communicate to parents. And so I just believe that we were able to identify a problem and put together a pretty solid solution. And it has definitely benefited us throughout the pandemic because we were able to communicate based on what we were seeing. Particularly with our high school students that were flipping it back and forth with virtual learning and coming to school. And so, again, looking at it from a systems perspective, this is a solution that we came up with to address attendance.